I had another uncle that went to prison for drugs and ended up killing himself in prison. He had a security guard. He had a friend in prison with him, and his friend was raped in the cell next to him. And my uncle was next on the list for these guys. My uncle's like, I'm not doing that. I'm done. He stole a security guard's gun and blew his head off in prison. I didn't have much of a role model figure in my life. And so that's why I'm so passionate about what I do now.
Jason Priest is the co-founder of the Fatherhood Experience. Jason is extremely passionate about health and wellness and was featured in Men's Health for his own health transformation.
If I continue to go on this path, I'm going to wake up one day, I'm going to be a 55-year-old health coach working for somebody else's company on someone else's time clock, no fulfillment, great family life, all that's good, but like, I have untapped potential here that I'm never going to be able to maximize if I continue to go down this road.
Jason is a father and family man first and always tries to lead by example. He is on a mission to make the largest impact possible on the male obesity epidemic in the United States so men can become the leaders of their family in every aspect and be around long term for their families.
I don't know that I have a lot to thank him for. He put me on the planet, but man, that's it.
You could thank him for giving you the opportunity to practice forgiveness.
I can agree with that.
Jason is also a co-host of the Fatherhood Experience podcast. So Jason, I was looking through your website there, the Fatherhood. Absolutely love that, by the way. Love the movement, love the message. And something struck me there as I was scrolling through it. And you say, or you tell these men to stop sitting on the sidelines, to take back control of your health and become the active role model that your kids deserve. Can you tell me about a time when you were on the sidelines and maybe not so healthy or not a very active role model for your kids in their life?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So a little bit about my story. Actually, my health journey actually came. Well, I shouldn't say that. Part of my health journey and my major weight loss came before I had kids. My wife and I were married for 10 years before we had children. We were originally going to be the cool aunt and uncle. And we decided after 10 years, we did a bunch of traveling, bunch of cruises, and we got to a point where like, do we really want to be cool aunt and uncle, or is that a little bit selfish? Like, do we want kids? We went on to obviously have 2 kids, not with ease. We had our first kid with no problem. He's 7 now, and awesome kid. We had 2 miscarriages in between, and that was tough. Obviously, anybody that deals with that is obviously goes through a lot of challenges along the way. We've had some guests on our show that have had much worse stories than mine. So it's always a silver lining for me when I think about, like, I had a guy not long ago, man, who his wife delivered triplets, carried him full term, delivered triplets, and they lost all 3 of them after they were born. I have another friend whose wife carried a full term boy. He's got 3 girls right now, and they carried a full term boy, and the boy was born. Everything seemed good. And they started like investigating afterwards because like he wasn't thriving. And they found out that the gray matter and the white matter in his brain were flipped. And so that was his only boy. And it was going to be an unviable kid, right? And he was going to live on a brain dead on a ventilator all his life. And so they had to pull the plug. And so I always look at those kind of stories as a silver lining for me. Because like, obviously for me, my wife's longest miscarriage, I think she carried about 4 months. And we did find out I have 2 boys and that one was going to be a girl. And so it's sad. It's sad to think about, but I feel like those kind of stories just help us grow. Right. And so we have 2 boys now, and I got healthy before we had kids, which probably was a factor in us being able to have kids, because I was 60 pounds overweight at one point in our marriage. And it was after my mom passed away. I lost her when I was 25, and my wife and I had just gotten married. My mom died 2 months after my wife and I got married. We got married on July 16th, and my mom died on September 11th, 4 years after our country was attacked. And so all of this to say, the stop sitting on the sideline piece comes in because I also went through some dark times after we had Blake, my first kid. Started drinking too much again. I was in a pretty decent routine, but wasn't dialed in like I am now. It was to the point where I was kind of haphazard about it. I knew that I could kind of flip the switch on and off, if you will, because I had gone through such a journey. I dropped 60 pounds in about 9 months and got really, really heavy into fitness, which is why I became a personal trainer. I'm a registered nurse originally, started in the ICU doing post-op heart surgery patients in an ICU, and did that for about 6 years. And then that's when I lost my mom, went on and did some other things in nursing, but later on became passionate about fitness because of how much it changed my life, right? The dedication to being disciplined about personal excellence. So many people get caught in these like the fad diets and the fancy workouts and the next celebrity workout. And for me, none of that stuff matters, dude. At the end of the day, I feel like if you could search on the inside and fix you on the inside, like you and I talked a little bit about this before we hit record. We don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to getting healthy, dude. We know what works. But we live in an immediate gratification society, right? Everybody's looking for the quick fix, the searching for the answer, when in reality, it starts on the inside, man. You got to fix what's on the inside before you can even worry about what's on the outside. And so I think so many men, we work with men only, and so many of our guys get lost in that shuffle. They're searching for that quick answer, and they don't realize. And so for me, sitting on the sidelines, I know that when I wasn't my best, I wasn't feeling my best, and I was out of shape, and I was winded after going up a flight of stairs. I was winded after bending over to tie my shoes. Those things became a harsh reality for me. And when I gained a little bit of weight with Blake, I started getting scared again. I was like, well, shit, dude, I've already been down this road. Now I look back at pictures. I have a picture out there floating around somewhere where I was at a river. I went to the river with a group of friends, and I looked at myself and I'm like, damn, I was like pretty fat back then. And I was a far cry from where I was when I was 60 pounds overweight. And so I know the reality of living your best life. I know the reality of being your healthiest self and having the energy to keep up with your kids. I'm 42, man, and I've got a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. And the only way that I'm able to keep up with them and provide for them is because I make myself the top priority in my life. Everybody, all of our guys seem to think this is a selfish thought process. But dude, when you make you the number one priority in your life, everybody else gets the best version of you. And my family deserves the best me. My wife did not marry a slob. My wife did not marry a lazy dude who's not going to take care of himself and lead by example for his children. My kids deserve the best. They don't deserve the third, fourth, or eighth best version of me. They deserve the best version of me. And so the whole quote of getting off the sidelines and becoming the active role model your family deserves is you chose to have kids for a reason. Whether you had them, whether you chose to or not, you knew where kids came from. Everybody knows where kids come from. And so for me, it's your ultimate responsibility as a father, man. You have a moral and ethical obligation as well as responsibility to lead by example for them and give them the best chance at success moving forward, which starts with personal excellence. And so I know that was a long-winded answer, dude, but had to give you a little bit of a summary of my backstory and really tell you where those kind of quotes came, or those kind of messages come from.
What was some of the biggest internal struggles that you had to overcome on that journey for yourself?
With which part? I kind of went a duel there. Are you talking about the original weight loss journey?
I'm talking more about your internal struggles. As you say, okay. Everything starts within.
Yeah. Good question, dude. So my whole family on my mom's side has dealt with quite a bit of mental health issues. My mom, like I said, she died when she was 49. She was an alcoholic, smoker. My grandmother, her mom, was also an alcoholic, died of pancreatic cancer. She lived quite a bit longer than that, but I think she was I want to say she was like in her 60s, late 60s when she passed away, if I'm not mistaken. Never met my grandfather on that side. Had 2 uncles, both went to prison. One of them was addicted to drugs his whole life and ended up dying of some kind of liver failure from probably injecting things, and spent most of his life in prison. And then I had another uncle that went to prison for drugs and ended up killing himself in prison. He had a security guard. He had a friend in prison with him, and his friend was raped in the cell next to him. And my uncle was next on the list for these guys. My uncle's like, I'm not doing that. I'm done. He stole a security guard's gun and blew his head off in prison. I never got to meet this guy either. So a lot of mental health issues in my family, a lot of addiction, a lot of alcoholism. And so I knew that for me to be successful and really to carve out any kind of way of life for my future, it was all going to have to be on my mental side, man, the mindset. I knew that I would have to master the mindset. And so for me, I battled my own depression. I battled my own anxiety. I battled my own, I have a bit of a social anxiety issue, if you will, at times. I consider myself an introvert, even though sometimes I don't know when to shut the hell up. And it might be like, for me, I've just gotten so good at talking to people because of my business that it's just become natural for me. But generally speaking, I don't like to put all my stuff out there, but it's all out there now. So now I can talk about it. Now it was very liberating for me to get to a point where I just don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about me. If it's not my wife or kids, like I just don't care. Like what you think about Jason Priest means nothing to Jason Priest unless you're a valuable member in my life. And I think a lot of people get so caught up in what others think of them. They judge them. They're like, oh, well, you know, people are they're gonna make fun of me, or oh, you're trying to make a difference in the world now. Well, oh, you're starting a business. What are you trying to do? Get rich? Like you get all these comments and all the haters out there. And when you get to a point where you just don't care about that anymore, and you get to a point where you're able to block all that out, your personal excellence and your journey on personal development starts to become a simpler path because you can avoid all the destructions, man. I get up every day looking to get better. That's it. 1% better every day is what we teach our community. I'm getting up to get 2% better. I'm getting up to learn and grasp as much knowledge as I can for the day, make as many strides as I can into the day so that I can show my family what it's like to wake up with a constant desire for growth and a constant desire to get better every single day. And that's it, man. And so I've battled a lot of the mental health challenges, and most people have. You know, I think that we're all messed up a little bit somehow in the head. And when you come to that realization and you just accept that we all got a little bit of something upstairs, it's just a simpler path forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, we all have that dark side, don't we?
Hell yeah, dude.
There's seems to be a lack of a role model there from your earlier years, or
so yeah. So check this out. I didn't add this part, but my dad and my mom got a divorce when I think I was about 2 or 3 years old. I don't recall any of this. But my dad got a job transfer to Texas. So we were originally living in Michigan. So that's the one thing that I can definitely thank my dad for, is that we got to Texas, and I'm not in that freezing ass cold Michigan anymore. But with that said, man, my dad played a role in my life, mostly revolving around sports. I was a soccer player. I played soccer for 15 years. It was my everything, dude. I was on 5 teams at one time. When I was in high school, I lived, ate, breathed soccer. And I had opportunities to take that next step beyond high school. But I got to the point where I was so burned out. I was so beaten down from this constant requirement for me to be on the field, for me to be practicing, for me to be playing in another game, me to be battling these damn ankle and knee injuries all the time. It just got so old. I was like, man, I'm checked out on this, dude. That's the last thing that I'm going to do, is go move away from home to go play soccer with a bunch of dudes I don't know, all because, you know, all for something that I don't love, right? My dad pounded that into my head on a daily basis. He was there for my games. He was there for my practices. He did the majority of the soccer transportation, right? My mom and dad were divorced. We lived in 2 different spots. He'd come pick me up most of the time, and show up to the game, show up to the practices. And so aside from that, I don't have a lot of memories from my childhood with my dad. My dad was not the guy that was going to go take me fishing just to spend time. He was not the guy who was going to, to make lasting memories with me on things that were, and things that would actually stick in my head. It was all related around soccer. Now, did we go to the occasional baseball game and stuff like that? Sure. But like that constant pounding me to continue to play soccer, continue to get better. It was almost as if because he played baseball, kind of very obsessive baseball. It was almost like he was living out his lack of next step in baseball through me, right? Like trying to get me. It's like this, I wouldn't say Tiger Woods type dad by any means, because I've heard like Tiger Woods' dad was like this total like drill sergeant guy, right? My dad was not like that, but maybe a couple of steps down from that. And it just got to the point where it was just like, dude, I can't, man. And you pounded me so long for the soccer thing that it just continued to just drive our relationship apart, right? And so it's sad. And it is what it is, dude. And I've accepted it. And I moved on. But yeah, I didn't have much of a role model figure in my life. And so that's why I'm so passionate about what I do now, is because our future generation deserves it, dude. And that's it. And so I care so much about my country. I care about the future, and I want our fathers. We need fathers more than ever rise up and make a difference in their kid's life and not be the dad that's on the sideline.
Is there anything that you can thank your dad for?
The sperm to my mom, the donation.
Spare the details.
I'll be honest with you, dude. That your listeners will like this one. So, anybody that's been through a personal development journey knows that it takes constant effort, right? It's a requirement to get up and want to get better, right? Like if you're going to work on your personal development, it's just like anything else, dude. You can't go to the gym twice a month and expect that you're going to get results, right? You can't eat healthy 3 times a week and think that you're going to get results. You can't meditate once a month and think that you're going to get results from it. So when I was really starting to get into meditation, I'm not as much into it as I was now. Still do my deep breathing, still do a lot of the things I was doing, but I got into this routine for a while where I was doing this meditation, and I heard about it from an ex NFL football player, Hall of Fame football player, and he was on a podcast. He started talking about this 6-phase guided meditation. I don't know if you've ever heard about this. This guy's name that created this, his name is Vishen Lakhiani, and Vishen Lakhiani created this six-phase guided meditation, and it walks you through different 6 phases, really creating your perfect day and your perfect life, right? And walking you through and visualizing all this. And one of the phases in this meditation is forgiveness, asking for forgiveness. And I did this for probably, I bet you I did it at least 4, maybe 6 months, almost daily. I would do it at least 5 times a week during the week, and then occasionally once on the weekends, right? So I would hit it Monday through Friday. It was my morning routine. I would do it. This was after our first kid was born. So I hadn't had the baby yet who's just kicking me in the back all night. So he was sleeping good. We hadn't had a second kid yet. So my morning routine was set, dude. Like, this kid's asleep. I can get up in the morning. I can do my thing. Don't have to worry about anybody else bothering me. So I was in a good routine. So I did this for probably 4 to 6 months, every day almost. Listen to this 6-phase guided meditation. And I kept thinking, right? Like, it keeps putting in your mind. Now, think of anybody in your life that you have negative charges, right? Anybody that in your life you have a negative relationship, negative charges, any negative loop, you want to close that, right? So I started doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking. I'm like, my dad is not he is not proactive about our relationship, if you will. If anybody's going to call or text, it's going to be me. He's not reaching out to me, and he lives about 45 minutes from me. And I have 2 kids. Like, these are his grandkids, right? He sees them about twice a year. And I'm not here to rag on my dad at all. Like, you do you, dude. It's just a little confusing to me that, he has another son. I have a half brother who's like 22 or something. And it's a little confusing to me that you only have 2 grandkids. My dad's 70, I think he'll be 71 this year. And you don't have more drive. Like, you might fucking hate me, dude. Like, it's cool, right? Cool if you don't like me, but you got two grandkids, and you're the granddad, and they don't have a grandma on this side, right? They got a grandma and a grandpa on my wife's side. They got nothing on this side. You're it, dude. My mom died a long time ago. What are you doing, right? What's the deal here? And so for me, I had to get to a point where it wasn't going to be on me. It wasn't going to be on my shoulders anymore. It was going to be my fault. It wasn't going to be shit. I wanted to clean my hands of that. So I went through this meditation phase, dude, and I listened to it enough, and I was like, finally, like, one day, you know what? I got to do it. Called my dad. Totally lost it. Shared everything with him. I was like, here's the deal, dude. This is just hear me out on this. I felt like we made strides almost. Like, it felt really good to have that conversation. And, I felt like things were going to get better. And I felt like our relationship, it did get better for a little bit after that. And it got better because I kept trying. Like, I didn't realize that at first, but it got better because I kept putting forth the effort. I'm like, well, shit, we just had this conversation. I had to call my dad, get him more involved in Blake and Colin's life, right? Like, this is it. And it was short-lived, like most things, right? Where it's not 2 parties involved. It's a one party show here. And so a few months go by and starts to dwindle down. A few months more starts to dwindle down. And my wife, like, she's not okay with this situation, right? She's like, don't even get me started on it. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. Just like, let's just not talk about it. And so, summarize that whole story. My own personal development, my own, my own self growth journey led me to being the one to reach out to him, apologize to him, ask him for forgiveness on everything that I've ever done wrong to him or caused him anything in his life, right? I put it all on me, 100%, like extreme ownership shit. If you ever read the Jocko Willings book, extreme ownership kind of thing, right? I took full responsibility for every bit of it, even though, in my opinion, it's on the other side. I owned it. And that moment, that day that I did that, has completely like I said, clean my hands of any guilt, of any baggage that I could potentially be carrying around because of that. And now I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I can just say, it is what it is. Like, I can't do anything about it. I can only control what I do, which is working on me, which is leading by example for my kids, which is being a team player with my wife. And we have an amazing marriage. And the reason we do have an amazing marriage is because we work on it constantly, right? We work on our communication. We schedule sex dates. We work on going out without the kids and making that a priority so that we can actually talk without two little boys jabbing in our ear, right? It's constant work, but that's the name of the game. That's the name of life, dude. That's the game of life. If you show up and you do the work, whatever area of life it is, you're going to get better, right? And so I don't know that I have a lot to thank him for. He put me on the planet. But man, that's it.
You could thank him for giving you the opportunity to practice forgiveness and to be able to take full ownership of something.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
That's tough, man.
So, it sucks, dude. Yeah, it is what it is. I got a mom that's gone, and that's the biggest thing for me is that my kids, dude. Like, for me, I'm a grown ass man, dude. I'll be 43 this year. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know that I'm going to show up every day. I know I'm not going to quit. I know our company is going to continue to grow. I know I'm going to continue to add value to the world, and I'm going to show up and do that. And so for me, it was more for my kids, dude. They never got to meet their grandma. That sucks because she'd have been here too much, right? She was the mom. She was chirping at us to have kids as soon as we got married, and we waited 10 years. She died 2 months later, like I said. But dude, she wanted us to have kids. She'd have been here every day, right? She'd have been that kind of grandma. And so the fact that I lost that, and I got like almost like the cold shoulder dad going on that's here comes over for Christmas maybe. And then like for maybe their birthday party, if we have it in town, like that's about it, dude. And so it's a challenging situation, but I've accepted it. I'm at peace now with it because of my own personal work on it, my own personal development on it.
Are you at peace with your mom's loss?
That one still stings on occasion, but because there's been so much, they say, I don't know who they is, right? But they say time heals all wounds. I agree with that. Like, the pain on that has gotten way, way, way better, right? If I sit and spend 10 minutes thinking about like memories and all that, I could start to cry pretty easily, right? But because it's been so long, dude, like, I mean, it was 2005, we're 17 years out. Like, the pain is minimal for me. I know that, I'm a God guy. I'm a higher power guy. And I know that she's up there in heaven watching over me. For me, at the end of the day, dude, like, one day we'll meet again, but dude, it's not something like, I will tell you, there's a lot of days like at night when I pray before I go to bed, I'll think of like important people in my life that could potentially be up there watching. Other than that, dude, there's just not a whole lot that enters my mind about my mom on a day-to-day basis because of the time that's gone by. Yeah.
It was her anniversary not that long ago as well, wasn't it? 11th of September.
Yeah, so she died on September 11th. Yeah. Yeah.
Does it
17 years
does it hit you hard on those days or harder in those days?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. I generally drop a post about it just as like just to share with my audience, like the pain that I felt and then really like what I've done since then. And like, the post that I dropped this time was that I'm being called to do more. I feel like I've gone through a period of personal growth recently where, I'm being called to put out more content. I feel the need to share my story with more people. because I know that if it changes one guy's perspective for the day, it's a win for me, right? It's not about Jason anymore. And in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, dude, when I started my business, it was about trying to find that next client, right? Like, what strategic post can I write to try to get the next client? I don't need that anymore, dude. Like, we advertise, we market. Like, the business is the business. I'm talking about my own personal brand, my own personal story, and sharing more about Jason. It's my obligation to do more. And over the last couple of months, I've felt this strong pull to do more, to give more, to put out more. My wife and I had a conversation about it the other day, and she's like, my wife's not like she's a pharmacist, right? She's I would call her a nerdy pharmacist. She's pretty cool, but she's like she loves her work. She's a clinical specialist in infectious disease. So she's all like, she's nerdy, right? Antibiotics, all that shit. She's all about it. So she's not a big social media person. Doesn't get on Facebook much. She might get on to like a couple of friends shit. She's probably got like, I don't know, 100 friends or 200 friends or something on there. And so she says to me, she's like, do you ever feel like posting all the time? Because I used to blow it up, and I just now recently started posting more. She's like, do you ever feel like it's too much? And so my response to her was like, my question back to you is, why would you feel that way? And she says, as a casual Facebook user, if I go on and I see, and she uses an example of a brand. She's like, The Loft. If I see The Loft posting, I see all these ads from The Loft on my timeline, I'm just going to keep scrolling. And I'm like, well, you just answered my question, dude. Like, you literally just gave me exactly what I needed. And you used a major brand, right? I'm just a dude. Anybody that doesn't want to see my shit's just going to keep on scrolling, or they're going to unfollow me, or they're going to block me or whatever. And I don't give a shit. The guy that stumbles upon my post who hasn't seen anything from me for 6 months, and it made him think a little bit more about the fact that he needs to get better and be a better role model for his kids and own his responsibilities as a father, that's the guy that I care about. Nobody else, right? If my post inspires one guy a day to take action, I don't care if he goes for a walk that day that he wouldn't have normally done, right? Or he drinks water instead of grabbing that soda the next time that he did. He makes him think just a little bit, my job is done. So the answer is no. It's never too much, right? And that's my theory, dude. Mm-hmm. So.
And you work with a lot of men. Do you see commonalities with the men you work? Is there a common struggle or difficulty that these men are dealing with or not dealing with?
100%, dude. So most of our guys are fathers. Very few now. I mean, especially with our brand, like we rebranded like a year plus ago and became the Fatherhood. And when people see the brand, it's like, well, it's like the Godfather, like they see the logo and they're like, it's cool. When we actually decided to go with the Fatherhood Experience, which is the name of our podcast. So the Fatherhood Experience is our umbrella company. And then all of our programs, our groups, our offers are all under that, right? So we have the Fatherhood Experience. The Fatherhood is our top tier, our elite white glove service. Like, these guys, I mean, they're in daily communication with our team, dude. It's like we've got constant support account. It's like our white glove service, right? So these guys are there literally to become the most elite version of themselves. Health and fitness is simply the foundation. We're helping them with family. We're helping them build elite relationships with their wives, with their network, with their friends, their coworkers, being better men overall. We help them with their finances, looking for opportunities to grow as men, looking for opportunities to get more confident and ask for the raise or potentially start that side hustle or that business they've always wanted to. Our goal with those guys is to become free from fear and doubt around their health and fitness, their family and their relationships, and their finances. We feel like that's what makes the ultimate role model, the ultimate father, and you living up to your potential as a man. If you can provide for your family, you have elite relationships with your family, and your health and fitness is great. And when I say fitness, it's all encompassing for us because, health to me is more than just working out. Obviously, we look at mental health, we look at emotional health, spiritual health. We take all of it into account, man, because if you're not aligned in all of those areas, there's always going to be something that's missing. And I hate that, man. When you feel like you're fulfilled, but there's just something more, right? You gotta check all those boxes. And so to answer your question, yes, generally speaking, the guys that come to us, they've gotten married, they've settled down, they've had kids, they help their wives with help the wives with the kids. They lose their me time because now they got kids. For me, it was golf. I got really freaking good at golf, dude. When I say really good, like I was not like a scratch golfer by any means, but I was shooting mid to high 70s on a consistent basis. And that was good for me when I went from 120 to shooting high 70s pretty regularly. That was some strides. I was at the golf course almost every day. I was practicing. I was at the range 3 to 4 times a week and then playing 2 to 3 times a week. Had it made in the shade before kids. We had my first son, gone. I've literally not played a round of golf since my son was born, like my first son, 7 years ago. So it's gone. And so this is what happens. They lose their me time. They lose their buddy time, right? And if they don't lose their buddy time, it's the buddies that hold them back generally, right? It's their drinking buddies. It's the guys they go to the bar with. It's the guy they go watch the NFL games with on Sundays to escape the madness from their kids. And now they're eating like shit and drinking 10 beers, thinking it's their guy time, right? It's not serving them. So now their weight becomes an issue. They're super stressed. They try to keep up with the demands of work. They just don't know. They don't know where to start. They can't figure it out. They don't know there's a simpler path. So then they start looking at all the ads online, right? Where can I get fit quick? I need to get rid of this quick, right? Everything else, I can get anything I want from Amazon right now. Oh, there's fast food on the corner. I can go get that in 5 minutes. I need to get these 50 pounds off in 10 minutes, right? Like it's this mentality, right? And so they get in this constant loop of trying the fad diets, trying the 6 weeks to 6-pack abs, trying the MLM shit, like the Optavia nonsense. Oh, become reliant upon our replacement shake of the day. You're going to have to use it the rest of your life, but you're going to lose weight, right? All the unsustainable surface level bullshit. And that's where most of our guys turn, dude. They look for these shortcuts and they don't realize that it all starts on the inside. And when you realize that, your life gets a lot simpler, man. The path forward, when you can start working on your actual discipline. You start doing the hard shit when you don't want to do the hard shit. Start following through with the promises and the micro commitments that you make to yourself. That's where the magic happens, dude. It's that simple. We all want that immediate result, right? They don't think that it's like a health and fitness is like a switch that they want to turn off, lose the weight, and then go back to their old way. And it's just non-existent. And you know this, right? And so that's the most common thing that we see. And so we keep it simple, dude. It's like, look, man, you come in, you make some sacrifices. We give you structure, we give you support, we give you accountability, and you're never going to look back. Like that's it. There's no temporary thing, dude. It's like you come in, you make the decision to get better. You make the decision that this is the way that you're going to live. And that's it. This is who you are. It's what you stand for. It's funny because we tell all of our guys, it's like, dude, what you're doing right now in the first month of the program, the resistance training program we give you, the nutrition plan that we give you, and like the way that you're going to structure your meals. And, we teach a couple of different intermittent fasting methods, right? One of them has a bulletproof coffee for the coffee drinkers. And we have some little strategies that we involve, and just works for our guys. It keeps it simple. It, helps them with portion control, helps them with sugar cravings, all the things that come along with that. All right. We had a guy start 1 week ago. He hadn't even started his workouts yet, and he's already down 7 pounds. He texted us this morning. Like, holy shit, I can't wait for my workouts, right? This is the magic. They just don't know where to start. And so when they have the structure, they have the support of the community, it just gives them a simple path forward that they haven't had before. All they've had is shit being thrown at them in all kinds of directions on social. I get this 6 weeks to 6-pack ab nonsense. And it's like, what do I need? I got to click here. Let me get this free guide. Let me opt into this VSL. No, dude, slow down. Realize the root problem here has nothing to do with the diet that you follow, dude. Has nothing to do with the next RPM workout that you go do, or the next Les Mills class you go do. It's all in the mind, dude. And you got to start there, because if you do, your path forward is going to be a simple one. Mm-hmm. Not easy, but simple.
What does me time look like for you now, Jason?
Good question, dude. My me time is minimal, and I maximize it, and that's it. And so I think that before I dive into what mine looks like, I will tell you that one area where a lot of guys go wrong is they don't schedule appointments with themselves. You schedule an appointment with the dentist, no problem, right? You put that on. They usually get you on there 6 months down the road. It's already in your calendar, right? You schedule your physical exam if you're someone who goes to the doctor regularly. It's on your books, right? You schedule an appointment with your clients or your boss or your coworker. You might schedule a lunch date. All those things find their way into your calendar. But somehow you can't block an hour for you to go to the gym. Somehow you can't look at your calendar and carve out 30 or 40 minutes for you to go and like get in a workout or go on a walk, a long extended walk, get some natural sunlight in your life, get some fresh air, get away from screen time, do things that are going to serve you. Like why are men not why do we feel guilty to schedule time with ourselves? I posted today, like, don't ever feel guilty about investing time in yourself and your own personal development, man. Like, this is your time to get better. And so for me, my me time is literally about 15 minutes in the morning, and I maximize the hell out of it. So I have a morning routine methodology that it's funny. I've created a new 60-day path to personal excellence for dads. We haven't released it yet. It's going to come out soon. I'm very, very excited to get this into more men's hands, because I can tell you that the 50-pound or 80-pound guy that's just struggling and has nowhere to start, this is going to be a path that helps them. It's not, you've heard of 75 hard, right? Mm-hmm. It's got all these stringent rules. It's not even meant to be a health and fitness challenge, right? It's a mental toughness challenge. It's about building discipline, fortitude, all those things that come along with it. With this is going to be a 60-day path to optimal health and personal excellence. And we go through our 4 core pillars of health, right? So we dial in their sleep, we dial in their stress management, dial in their nutrition, and dial in their fitness, right? Those are our 4 pillars. But with that, I think that where a lot of people don't realize the stress management piece, right? If you work on yourself in terms of personal development, your stress is going to take care of itself, because that means you're being proactive instead of living reactive. Most people live reactively, right? We react to emails, we react to texts, we react to social media, we react to that next meeting that's on our calendar. We wake up, we hit snooze, we run off to work. You live reactively, and I did it for many, many years. When you take charge of your life and you start living proactively, and by that, like what we have coming out with our morning routine, this is called the GBR method. I'll walk you through it. This is what I do: gratitude, breathing, reading. Okay. Gratitude. As soon as I wake up in the morning, dude, the very first thing that I do is, and I don't use an alarm anymore. I used to shut off my alarm. There's no more snooze in my life, dude. I wake up when I wake up, and it's at the same time every day. I get 7+ hours of sleep every single night. I wake up well rested, turn off my phone, take my phone out, because we have a gratitude journal post inside the Fatherhood. I lead by example for my community. Okay. I go in there, I hit that post very first thing. It's the only thing that I open my phone with. I don't look at emails. I don't look at texts. I don't look at anything else. I open the Facebook app. I click on my Fatherhood group icon. I go directly to the gratitude journal post, and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for at that moment. I think about it for about 2 minutes. Generally speaking, the very first 2 things that hit my gratitude list every day: the fact that I woke up for the day, another day of life, and God. Without that, I'm not here, right? So those are always 1 and 2 for me. And then the rest of it varies, right? Could be my family health, could be our home, could be our safe vehicles, could be access to quality nutrition. All these things that I'm grateful for, right? That's the very first thing that I do. I'm telling my brain that I'm grateful to be alive today, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to go learn and get better again for another day. I'm not focusing on the negative nonsense. That stuff is still there. They're in the emails. It's on the social media. It's all there for you. You got to tell your brain that stuff can wait, that you're the one dictating the beginning of your day. As soon as that's done, I go into the breathing. So we got G5, which is gratitude, 5 things. We got breathing, 10 things, right? So breathing, B10, which is 10 box press. That's all I do. 5x5 box press. This is like a Navy SEAL thing. The most common is 4x4. I like the extra second. It's a little bit deeper breath. So I do 10 5x5 box press. That's it. Takes me 2 minutes. That ain't shit, dude. Carve it out. Make it happen for yourself. You will feel better, right? Actually focusing on the breath, feeling the air come out of your lungs and focusing on that. Breathing in as deep as you possibly can, right? That's it. As soon as I'm done with my 10 box press, 10 pages of personal development reading, 10 pages of knowledge, 10 pages of positivity, 10 pages that are going to help me move forward and get better for the day. And I'm done. That's 15 minutes of my day that literally, and with no cell phone in sight, just the Facebook thing, right? The gratitude journal. The phone goes down after that. So I've gone from waking up, blocked out the first 20 minutes of my day with not a single email, text, social media post, no nothing in my brain, all with positivity, all with personal development, all with things that are going to help me be better for the day, all while decreasing my stress as a secondary method that I didn't even have to focus on stress management, right? I didn't have to do a thing. I'm just working on being a better me. And so that little formula is what I use each and every day. And that is my personal development for the day. Then I go back later in the day. I listen to one podcast. It's the only one that it's not mine. It's the only one that I have time for. I shouldn't say have. It's the only one I make time for. It's the one that I get the most value out of. And that's more personal development. And then I'll generally read before I go to bed again to get off my cell phone. So at night, I'm like anybody. I'll scroll my phone a little bit, but I firmly believe the blue light thing is an issue with getting to sleep, and it causes me a little bit of issues at times. So I've found that if I can put the phone down, read another 10 pages, right? Another 10 pages or at least 5 of my book, then I'm able to initiate sleep better. And I put more positivity in my mind before I go to sleep, which usually usually leads to better dreams, better thought processes, better focus in the morning, the good stuff that comes along with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my summary.
Where does your workouts and your training fit in?
Yeah, I'm an afternoon guy. So, I'm a firm believer in you got to do what's best for you. There's so many morning routine formulas out there, if you will. I saw one the other day that said like the foolproof path to improve your life in the next 60 days or next 90 days or something. You do this for 3 months. And the very first thing was get up at 4 or 4:30. And I'm like, bro, you must be talking to a specific audience, because I'm a fucking dad and I got a 2-year-old that still comes down to my bed every night and kicks me in the back. Okay. Without fail, every single night. Ain't waking up at 4 or 4:30, dude. It ain't happening. I'm waking up at 7 and I'm still productive. So no, your thing is not foolproof for me. And so you got to do what's best for you. And ultimately, I know there's sacrifices that come along with getting better, but you also have to realize that for our niche and really for my life and what's gonna fit best in my life, it has to be sustainable as well. And so I mentioned 75 Hard with his mental toughness challenge. Mine's more about optimal health and developing yourself personally and getting into a routine where this is something you're going to continue. It's not hey, you're going to build fortitude through this challenge. And I know that challenge has changed a lot of lives. I'm not knocking at one bit at all. I'm specifically referring to our niche and the overweight dads that we deal with. That's not sustainable for these guys. Most of these guys are looking for something that can help them get a little bit better. And so the way that we've laid out ours and with our 60-day plan is it's giving them a little bit of permission. There are some rules around it, but there's a little bit of there's room for error in the rules. It's not a lot, but you have the opportunity to have a cheat meal and a beer each week, right? You have the opportunity to miss one workout over the span of a month, right? We've got four resistance training workouts each week. And if you miss more than one in a month, then you start over. Well, dude, like that's very doable, right? Who the hell can't get 4 workouts in a week, right? If you're truly committed to personal excellence, you're going to find a way to make it happen. Okay. This is not 2 45-minute workouts a day. This is reality. Don't miss them, right? Get it in. Same thing with the reading. We require you to read 10 pages every day. If you miss 2 days in a row, or if you miss 2 days in a week of reading, you start over, dude. There's no excuse that you can't get 10 pages done if you're truly committed to personal excellence. And so we have some softer rules around ours, but ours is really about guys finding a better way to get healthier and building momentum that shows them that, oh shit, there is an easier, simpler way. And I don't have to sacrifice my entire lifestyle just to do this. I'm going to get better. I'm still going to get to go out on Saturday night and have that burger with my family. And I still can even have a beer, but I'm still going to get healthier and I'm going to get better because of this. I'm in, right? It's just it's an easier to grasp challenge, if you will, but totally geared for different people, right? And so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of those morning routines are marketed to set you up for success, but set you up for more fucking stress than anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
kind
these
of a counter.
3 hour nonsense shit. Dude, I've
Yeah,
seen some that are like, get up at 4 and do this from 4 to 7, right? It's like an hour of writing, an hour of reading, a 30-minute workout, like
and
do a
you
30-minute meditation. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
I'm a dad and it ain't happening.
And yeah, doing all that while you just had about 3 hours of sleep. Yeah,
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 dude,
yeah.
it's not happening. And
You're
so
fucking heading towards
I
burnout. Yeah.
understand if you're 22 and you want to be like a super entrepreneur and like you got no kids and like
Mm-hmm.
this is the way forward, great, more power to you, man. That's not the guys that we work with.
Yeah, excellent stuff. This is something that's become a great success for you, man, and well done on that. And if you were to reflect back on this journey of building the business or even maybe your own personal development, what was the most difficult decision you had to make in all of that?
To go for it, dude. I'll be honest. Well, I'll go with both. I'll go with both. Okay, so the business, man. I'll be real honest with you. I was back in 2018, and I still vividly remember the conversation with my wife. She was pregnant at the time. Silver lining, though, again with the miscarriages, right? There's always I believe everything happens for a reason. And my wife was pregnant at the time and ended up miscarrying the baby that she was pregnant with. But I just quit my job, so we sat down at the dinner table. It was her and me and Blake. And she says, I said, honey, I got something I got to tell you. She's like, what's that? How was your day? Because I was working corporate wellness at the time. I was doing coaching for a corporate wellness company. And essentially the people that I was talking to, 90% of the time were having the call with me to get the points for their insurance, right? They're required to have a call with a coach because their blood work looked like shit. So they had to talk to me to get the check off on their points, right? So not a lot of engagement. Occasionally I'd get that person that wanted to get better, was excited about the call and was passionate. And I was like, shit, man, I need to do more coaching. Like this feels good when I get a hold of someone who really wants my help. I knew that I had value to offer to these people, but it was so few and far between that I would get those, right? So I started thinking about it. I'm like, I got way more value to offer to the world than what I'm doing here, man. I'm not fulfilled. I'm showing up to work every day. At this time, they'd sent us home, which was good. I was working from home, which allowed me to have more time to start dabbling in the business world. But I started thinking more and more. I was like, dude, if I do this, if I continue to go on this path, I'm going to wake up one day. I'm going to be a 55-year-old health coach working for somebody else's company on someone else's time clock, no fulfillment, great family life. All that's good. But like, I have untapped potential here that I'm never going to be able to maximize if I continue to go down this road. So I came to that realization. My wife and I sat down at the dinner table with my son. And I said, honey, I got to tell you something. I'm going to quit my job. She's like, wait, what? Like, we got Blake, I'm pregnant. Like, we got this house. What do you mean you're going to quit your job? I said, I just lost it. Put my head in my hands. Can't do this anymore. I'm going to wake up with nothing but regret when I'm 55, 60 years old and look back on life, realizing that I never took the chance on myself that I should have taken, or should I take it? She was like, well, I can see that. And long conversation about it. I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this for me. It's not about anybody else. It's about me. Okay. When I say make yourself the number one priority in your life, this is what I mean. So many people worry about what everybody else thinks, dude. My wife was pregnant. We have a mortgage. I have another kid to take care of. She does well. My wife is like, she's a pharmacist. She does well. But dude, like we had two incomes, right? We built this life and all of a sudden mine's going away. She's like, okay, we're going to figure this out. I can't see you unfulfilled. I can't see you miserable like this. And we'd have conversations prior to this about how I was starting to feel, right? This was not like a out of the blue that, all of a sudden there was some buildup that I kept telling her, hey, I'm just not fulfilled. I just don't feel right. Finally did it. So that was the hardest thing that I did, was to bet on myself. Because when you make the decision to bet on yourself and to go all the way in with no second option, no option B, this was option A or else for me, right? There's no plan B. It was, I'm going in, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to figure it the fuck out. There's no going back, no turning back at all for me. And that was the hardest decision in terms of building the business. In terms of personal development, much shorter story, just realizing that I got to do what I got to do, and I got to get up every day, and I got to show up whether I want to or not. Not only for my audience, not only for the people that I inspire on a day-to-day basis in our community, but for me. If I'm going to get better and I'm going to fulfill my potential, because I said I already made the commitment that I'm going to bet on myself, I'm going to go all in. I've gone through periods of almost like a roller coaster of, all right, well, and this happened not that long ago where my business partner and I were like, we got burned out on organic content. Like, shit, dude, let's just go all in on ads and just not even do organic anymore. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's do it. Sounds fun, right? So we did that for a while, and it works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, because financially the business is fine. We're doing good. We're moving forward. We're acquiring clients. We built out our low ticket program. We got offers all over the place now. Things are moving good for us. Something's missing again, right? That piece, that call to do more. It's gone. I'm not putting out my shit now. Business is doing well. We're getting guys that are getting value. I still have more to give, right? And so in terms of personal development, it's realizing that you're going to get complacent over the years, right? Like, you're going to have periods of complacency, but you have to wake up every day looking for opportunities to get better. Because if you don't, I would have never doubled back down on my content. I don't give a shit if my thing gets 2 likes, dude. I don't care at all. What's going to happen is one day a dude's going to go over to like my Instagram or my Facebook. He's going to stumble upon it. He's going to binge scroll all my shit and be like, holy shit, this is the guy that can help me. This is the guy that's speaking directly to me. I don't care if he got 2 likes or 15 likes. This is my guy. I resonate so much with his message. I did my job, dude. That's it. And so when it comes to personal development, you've got to develop a constant desire for growth and a constant desire to get better every day, because you have to show up and do the right thing when you don't want to. Just like going to the gym. I'm not going to tell you I'm motivated to go to the gym every day. Neither are you, right? I work out 4 days a week. I do not skip. Those 4 days, they get done. There's at least 2 every week, probably 3. I don't want to go, dude. I don't want to go to the gym. I know that if I can just get in my car and start to make the drive, I go into robotic mode, right? It becomes robotic. It's like unexpected consistency. That's the goal for everyone. It's like you go to the gym no matter what the circumstance is, because you know what's waiting for you on the other side.
Yeah. Foreseeing the consequences of your actions. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
100%, dude. Because I know, and you know this too, you skip once, you got leverage. Makes you skip again. You skip twice, now you even got more leverage. Where a lot of guys go wrong is like, it's very easy to go to the gym one time, dude. But it's also very easy not to go to the gym one time. And the more that you go to the gym, the easier it becomes. The less you go to the gym, the easier it becomes. See how this works, right? It's kind of the whole fit life versus fat life analogy. I've lived the fit life. I've lived the fat life. Both of them. Choose your hard, right? They're both hard. Life is hard regardless. Which path are you going to choose? You're going to be hooked. You're going to be hooked on medications your whole life, diabetes and all kinds of issues, blood pressure issues, heart attack later on down the line, all because you chose not to go to the gym because it was hard one time, dude. Gets easier as you go. So do the bad habits. Which way are you going to lean?
Of course, yeah. You got to focus on those short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Yeah, definitely.
That's the problem, dude. Is everyone wants that immediate gratification, man. Mm-hmm. That's why I think we live in a world where technology has become more and more prominent. Mm-hmm. And the podcast that I listen to, he firmly believes that the guy that I listen to is like, dude, I think technology is going to start to fade away as we move forward in the foreseeable future. I think people are going to start to wake up and realize that, man, we're not meant to be stuck to our screen 8 hours a day. Not just the phone, right? But like your laptop, these Zoom calls, like we're meant to be outside. And the way that humans thrive, getting natural sunlight, going and doing a little bit of hard work, getting uncomfortable on a regular basis, putting yourself in situations that are going to challenge you a little bit. That's how we thrive, man. And like, that's the reason I go outside and do sprints. That's the reason I want to make myself hurt a little bit. because I know I'm going to get better because of it, dude. And most people aren't willing to do that. That's the average person is not willing to do that.
Yeah. I think
Look for discomfort.
the more we've become connected to our phones and devices, the more disconnected we've become within and to others as well. I think it's
sad, man. It's sad. It's almost like you got to search for discomfort in a comfortable world, right?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of ripple effects from that. Loneliness as well is massive for a lot of men.
Dude.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that could be another rabbit hole we could jump in for another day. But man, I've really enjoyed this conversation and your insights, inspiration, and information. So, Jason, for any of the listeners listening to this, where can they check you out and
dude, get in touch? Probably if I'll just go with my Instagram, dude. Yeah, like we have a business Instagram and my personal Instagram. So my personal is just at Jason A. Priest, and then our business is at the Fatherhood Experience. If you go to those, you'll find enough content. Like we put our podcast on the business page. That's called the Fatherhood Experience. We're on all platforms. So if you guys want to get a little bit of taste in our world and really what we're all about, those are probably the best places to find us. We do have the free guide, the 60-day path to personal health or optimal health and personal excellence, coming soon. So if you go follow one of those pages, I'll be talking about it a lot lately because I truly believe it's going to change a lot of lives for free. Right. Of course. Do we have something to sell you on the other side of that? I'm not going to lie, dude. Of course. Do you want real help? If you follow what's in this guide, dude, I'm telling you right now, it's laid out so simply. It's fail proof, right? It is built-in discipline that you have to do to get better. And people need to accept that, man. Like you got to do the hard shit when you don't want to do the hard shit. And you just get past that, dude. You just get to a point where life, you expect it, right? It's like, I'm expecting the worst, but I'm going to shoot for the best. It's like, dude, it's just a different mentality. Mm-hmm. And so you guys keep an eye out for that guide, dude. Grab it when you can. And I'm more than happy to help anybody else as I possibly can. But those are the best places, at Jason A. Priest and at the Fatherhood Experience.
Nice one, Jason. Well, thank you so much, man, for your time and energy here.
Thanks for having me, Gavin. I appreciate it, dude. This has been a fun interview. We talked about some shit that I haven't talked about on other podcasts, man. So appreciate your questions. And again, thank you for having me on.